What is my personal connection with the sun?
Yes, of course. As you are aware, all entities within the Earth Collective are connected to the solar system of collective construct. All human beings who exist upon your Earth Collective now directly benefit physically from their co-creation with your star called the Sun. Also knowing that the implementation of the physical experience in the Earth Collective is central to co-creating with the star known as your Sun. All of those points well understood to you, well known to yourself and to others who experience that energy, but something that in which you had no awareness. We would express that being a sun worshipper, a sun priest or priestess, was not known to you, but this was known to you. You knew that there were lifetimes where your connection to the sun in a religious sense was important, but one incarnation, there are less details that are embedded within first your intuitive self, your natural network, psychic energies, but also your ability to recall previous incarnations. There was one incarnation where you worked with what we would call the mid-level mind construct. This is well after the second iteration of Anunnaki beings came to Earth and co-created with humans and left a co-creative energetic print Mayans called Quetzalcoatl. After that time period and after that energy became more dogmatic, religious, then direct interactiveness, your experience lived. And in that experience, you did in fact murder other human beings for the benefit of the god that you perceived as the sun. In that ritualistic sacrifice, there were many virgin and children lives that were taken. This is one reason to disconnect from that incarnation more so. We understand that there were gruesome lives that occurred, and there were negative lives that all humans have experienced at one time or another. But this incarnation, being the person responsible for both choosing those that would be sacrificed, but also sacrificing those entities yourself brings great pain. But the ending of this lifetime was what was important. You had murdered thousands of human beings in your lifetime. At the end of your experience, as you were getting ready to stab one of the main soldiers in the army after all of the virgins and children that could be sacrificed were, and the drought did not stop, you then went towards soldiers and were at the mid-highest ranks of soldiers to sacrifice. In your experience with this entity, they gave their life of free will. They desired to be a large part of energy to be sacrificed to the god of the sun, the sun who was the god. After putting this entity upon the altar, raising your blade, the sun itself peeked through the clouds and reflected light from the luminescent necklace that the soldier and warrior wore, and as it blinded your eyes temporarily, your knife coming down onto the entity's neck then bounced away and stabbed yourself in the leg. You bled for long periods of time. Others helped you, but eventually became woozy and passed out after the entity was spared from the council and from the entity that served as figurehead of that situation and ceremony released this entity. You stayed in close quarters with infections and severe weakness. Weeks went by, all entities began to stop feeding food, as food was scarce and you were perceived to be an entity who would die regardless. So you then offered yourself as a sacrifice, knowing that you were only days away. sacrifice, the sun showed itself again, and as the light bared down only on the place of the pyramid in where you and the sacrificer were, the rest of the sky was downpouring torrentially in rain. The drought was then over. You sat long time, multiple weeks, healing yourself, even though you did not believe you were able to be healed, even though the entire community believed that you would die. Your contemplation on the sun god, your contemplation on the energy of what the sun means, and your contemplation about your relationship shifted all things. You then begin to understand this is an entity that gives life. It does not require taking of life. It fundamentally changed the entirety of your local group's idealism. Although it was not accepted by the entire community, those that were directly rejected killing others for the sun and began your own community away from the larger cities. This energy is very relevant to what you are doing in this moment, as you are still the entity who is given of yourself, who has taken from others in multiple incarnations, and in this lifetime you are reflecting. In this lifetime you are working with the energetic nature of nature itself and of yourself. We thank you for this, and we congratulate you for it as well.